guys, welcome to Lala's Kitchenette. I'm Chef Lala, and on this channel I love to help people elevate their cooking skills. On today's episode we're making a super healthy protein and antioxidant packed kale salad. So let's get started. First things first, we're making a vinaigrette, and this is going to be one of the healthiest and most delicious parts of this whole thing. So I have a pinch of kombu seaweed that was dried, and I crumbled it up into a 1/4 cup of rice vinegar. And then the rest is canola oil. So while that's soaking, let's finish the rest of our vinaigrette. I'm going to grate this nub of ginger and this garlic into our vinaigrette. And we'll whisk it all up. So this is an awesome salad. And if you've eaten a lot of cheese during your downtime lately, then maybe you're thinking of stuff like this. And it's really tasty, and it's really filling, and it's really good. Lots of fiber, protein, antioxidant fruits. Then we're going to have this amino acids in our nice dressing with the sesame and ginger. I really think you're going to love this. It's going to be so good. Especially in the summer, you know, when it's really hot outside and you don't want to heat up the kitchen any more than you have to by cooking. So this would even be an entree. You maybe add a chicken breast or a piece of fish or some tuna or some tofu, whatever floats your boat. One of my favorite things to do is get a rotisserie chicken and just use that for like a week for salad toppers and sandwiches. And it's really easy. You don't have to heat up the kitchen. And I live in the desert, so it's really hot here right now. Really hot. So these little dishes like this keep us from having to sweat our butts off all the time in our house. Alright. So I used right around half that ginger. It was like an inch cube of ginger that I peeled. Just that. And I'm going to get in there with our garlic. I have 3 pretty decent sized cloves of garlic. Just do the same thing, grate them in there. And while we're doing that, I'm just going to list off the ingredients that I'm using. I have a bunch of kale, 1 bunch, de-stemmed, and I just tore the leaves, you know, into bite-sized pieces. And then I got some shredded cabbage that I sliced up. There's about a 1/4 head of cabbage, cored and sliced. I got 2 grated carrots and like a 1/4 of a red onion sliced up. And then I got blueberries, a handful of grape tomatoes that I just quartered, some raisins, some edamame, sesame seeds, and yeah, we'll put the sesame seeds right into our nice vinaigrette we're making. This is going to be a ginger sesame amino acid dressing, so it's going to be super healthy but also really delicious. And that seaweed that I put in there is going to give it a really nice umami kick. So like I said, you know, if you want to have some more vinaigrette ideas, I have a balsamic vinaigrette video if you want to check that out. But yeah, using the vinaigrette ratio, which would be 3 to 1, 3 parts oil to 1 part vinegar. So I took my 1 part vinegar and I soaked my pinch of crumbled dried kombu seaweed into my 1/4 cup of rice vinegar so it could rehydrate, and it looks awesome. So, let me wash really quick. And I'm going to show you how see the layer? See that 1/4 cup? That's the rice vinegar on the bottom, and then a canola oil on top. But you could use whatever neutral tasting oil you like. You could add MCT oil if you're doing like a keto thing. It's really up to you, but it's really pretty. And I like seeing those layers. It's really cool. That seaweed's all plumped and green again. And yeah, I just crumbled it up by hand. About a tablespoon in there. So put this to the side. I'm going to go ahead and add this to that. So I just put the vinegar and oil and seaweed mixture into our grated nub of ginger and the cloves of garlic. And I got a whisk over here. And I'm going to put probably under a teaspoon of sesame oil. So just a couple little dashes. You don't want to be overwhelming with it because it will overpower a lot of other flavors if you put too much. You can always add a little more later if you would like more. And this is Bragg's amino acids, which is like a soy sauce alternative, but it has those aminos in it. It's from soy protein, soybean protein. So it's really, really good for you, and it's delicious. And yeah, just add a couple dashes of that. And if you want to look, you can see how everything sort of has separated, so you can see each individual ingredient. So you can see the drops of amino, and then how the oil and vinegar are separated still. Put about a tablespoon of honey. And I'm not going to put a whole lot of seasoning in right away because that seaweed has a lot of salt in it. So always taste before you go too overboard with your seasoning with this type of thing. And I'm going to put a pinch of ground turmeric and dose it with some fresh cracked pepper. And we'll put some of our sesame seeds in there. And then we'll save some sesames to put right on top of our salad when it's finished. So I'm just going to whisk this. You could do this in the blender. You could do it in a little glass jar with a lid, or a container with a lid that fits tightly on it. You could just shake it. And I'm just going to whisk it until it's emulsified. And we'll be right back to assemble our salad. Okay, so I whisked our nice sesame ginger vinaigrette until it was emulsified. And it's time to give it a taste. It looks really cool. And that like bright green seaweed in there. It's just delicious. It smells awesome. Let's see how we did, if we need to adjust any of our seasonings. It's really good. Just a little sweet from the honey, that tangy rice vinegar, the sort of minerally taste from the seaweed, and of course our nice toasty sesame seeds and sesame oil. And I'm glad I didn't add any salt because the aminos were just right on the spot with that, so didn't need any more. I'm going to put our vinaigrette to the side, and we can start assembling our beautiful, healthy salad. Get some of this nice shredded cabbage in there. This is so hearty and crunchy and nutritious, and it's filling, like it's satisfying and filling because of all these awesome vegetables we're putting in. Some carrots, and it's beautiful. So many different colors and textures and flavors. And then we'll get our onion. Look how pretty this is. It's just, it looks healthy, but it tastes amazing. There's that. And then get our edamame in there. This is just steamed shelled edamame, which you could use dried edamame also, or what have you. Our sesame seeds. Yum. And of course the blueberries. And I don't want it to be too sweet because I have blueberries and raisins and a little bit of honey in the vinaigrette. Just a little bit of each, the raisins and the blueberries. Just through the occasional little sweet bite. Get our tomatoes, grape tomatoes, into the mix. And then we'll some sesame seeds. Alright. So I'm going to take our dressing, and I'm just going to pour it right over there. And I'm going to grab my tongs and we'll mix it up. This smells so good, like oceany and sweet and tangy. I'm not going to go too crazy with the dressing because, like, as long as there's enough to coat it, you know, you can always add more later if you feel like it. Just give this a toss. Look at how bright and colorful this is. All these awesome textures. And this dressing is good on anything. I even use similar dressings for like marinating, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, one of my favorite dressings that I like to use. Now that I have this reasonably mixed, make sure you get that off the bottom, because the bottom of course will get soaked first. Bring it up from the bottom. All right, so pretty. Grab a plate. And we'll get a little bit, got kale, carrots, cabbage, red onion, raisin, edamame, blueberries. This is so good. And it's so pretty. And hopefully you love it as much as I do. All these nice proteins, all these nice fibrous vegetables, and then of course our dressing with all its glorious healthy ingredients. We put a little more sesame seeds right on top. And it did soak up quite a bit of the dressing, so I'm going to put just a smidge more right there. Let's give it a taste. Get a nice bite with some kale, cabbage, onion, blueberry. That dressing, it smells so amazing. It's really good. That dressing is really nice. Sweet and savory. Those onions, the crunchiness, the chewiness, like the edamame. This is really awesome and beautiful. And hopefully, you use this dressing for a lot of other purposes. And not just this salad. But this will hold in the fridge. It's pretty sturdy. The cabbage and the kale, those are pretty sturdy greens we've used, so you can keep this. You can do this as lunch, add some white beans and some herbs, add a piece of fish or chicken, and you have a really good, wholesome, healthy, satisfying and filling meal. Not just a side, not just a salad, but as an entree salad. This really holds its own. And I'll make sure I put all the ingredients of my vinaigrette in the description for you, because I know that was a lot of ingredients, but it was worth it, and it tastes amazing. It's perfectly balanced. And I hope you guys have subscribed to my channel. If you haven't yet, please feel free to hit that button and the notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. And thank you for joining me in my tiny kitchen. Peace out. It's Lala.